But let's get into the story mode. How do you guys feel about the story? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Indifferent to it?
I gave the story a 7. It was strong, especially like like I said in the chat, second 7 felt more stoic, but then this one felt, and you know, I'm using your terminology here, Anthony. Tekken 8 felt more like an anime. There was a lot of moving parts, and there were just certain story aspects I kind of feel like, well, that's it. Like, you're not going to elaborate on that. Like, for example, you know, one of the biggest selling points at the starting of the marketing was June's return. Mm-hmm. But when you play the story mode, she's there, but not really there. But also there.
From Final Fantasy 7.
So it was kind of like
giving up already.
Because personally, for me, I've been waiting to know what this love story between her and Kazuya was. Because when you really look at what happened in Tekken 7, now I understand the madness of Kazuya, because basically he's never really truly known love except from his grandfather, and you know his grandfather's dead. You found out that your mother, who's, you know, comes from a rival clan, and she didn't really love you, had a pact with an ancient demon to come destroy you and your father. So it's kind of like, you know, my father hated me because of my mother's genes that passed down to me. So it's kind of like, well, wow, the only love I've ever truly known was June. And you want to know, how did that happen? How did that happen?
Never gets explained.
You don't get none of it. And then
not to mention, go ahead.
And then, this is my final point. And then the other part was, you know, the new Mishima edition. So, like, you got subtle hints that, you know, because, you know, Harada has even tweeted, it's like, yes, Heihachi has like almost like 15 to 25 illegitimate children out there, but what makes this one so special? Actually, what made Lars and this one so special? And you know, Lars finally got his little bro moment with Kazuya, which I appreciated. But it's just, I feel like when it comes to these kids, it's like you're adding so many, but you're not giving us more detail about them.
Yeah,
you know,
it's probably been the best effort they made so far, though. To be fair,
yeah, because they dropped the ball with Tekken 6 in terms of like,
this is, you know, if we're going by like what they've given us before, this is probably the most in depth that they've gotten, give all things considered. Because we've talked on this podcast before about, like, had it not been for some YouTube videos, I would have had no idea what's going on with certain things in Tekken, with certain characters. And I feel like this did a good job of like streamlining a lot of that lore into a very digestible way, where it's like, okay, I can piece together what's happening here for the most part. But like you said, Tim, at a surface level. No, go ahead, Joy. You good?
I personally feel like they should have went in. The story should have been constructed a little bit more thorough. Like, okay, Jin, you killed Miguel's lady. Where's Miguel? Why is Miguel not a part of this game?
DLC.
Okay, now if we go there, you got to give us a DLC storyline. That's what I'm anticipating.
Yeah.
Because the game, game ended on a cliffhanger. No, and I'm actually more hopeful that's gonna actually take place, and it's gonna be bundled with Tekken Force, because there was a lot of the Tekken Force.
I can see it though. Incredible. There was a lot of Tekken Force because it had a lot. Initially, it's like a gimmick. When you play, it's like 5 missions.
Yeah, you can't
like Tekken Force, bro.
Yeah, you can't really don't. Yeah, you can't assume like, oh yeah, this is just a treat, a cameo homage. Like, nah, this is they're playing
you
this.
You play Tekken Force with like 5 different people in the game.
5 different people in the game, and they all have no, man. That's I don't know why Tim views stuff this way, bro. It's not. I mean, they're showing you everything. Other thing, we thought we weren't gonna get all these people. Now we have them. We constantly say, oh, we're not getting Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu's DLC. Yoshimitsu's not DLC. Right?
I mean, we were half right though. Eddie Gordo is DLC. We did call that. It's like it's gonna be either both or one of the two.
No, but the thing is, now somebody pointed out. I don't know who said this specifically, but it was like, yeah, why would you make Eddie the main roster? Eddie returning in Tekken 8 would give people more of an incentive. Like, think about the bundle pack. You got Eddie, you got Lei Wulong, and then you have who else? Who else that you have?
Another character who was DLC before.
It's been proven with Mortal Kombat that the audience don't care about it as much as we do.
The thing is, you know,
they sell us Akuma.
I think
they sell us Rain. Every franchise
and
does it.
And we're expecting, like, this is not going to be the same Lei. This is going to be a different Lei. Everybody's looking for the glow up. This is one thing, the momentum that Tekken has going for.
Well, technically not, because when you look at the story, it's only been 5 months.
Since Tekken 6?
Yeah, no, since Tekken 7. It's only been 5 months.
Since Tekken 7?
Yeah, it's only been 5 months.
So, I'm waiting for Miguel. I think, story-wise, I think Miguel should have been at least hinted, hey, Jin,
giving how much you focus on Jin. That makes sense.
Story mode-wise, right? Kazuya should have been doing his own thing. And a reason to find Jin. When I say doing his own thing, like how he had the tournament, because Tim, you didn't play it, man. There was a part in the game where they have an actual tournament and you pick and choose who you want to play.
I saw that part.
Okay, that was perfect. Now, they should have made it more clear that Kazuya was looking for was Zafina. And scouring the earth, and Zafina's trying to hide, and she's losing control over Azazel, because that's who Kazuya wants. Kazuya wants to challenge Azazel, absorb his power, because Kazuya wind up learning that there was more to Azazel's ability, and then therefore, and Zafina, she was going to expose herself and actually use Claudio. Use Claudio
the Quincy
as the Quincy as the last resort to seal away Azazel and Kazuya, but it backfires, right? And then there was so much things working for it. Okay, Jin is trying to get there before it shouldn't have been Jin trying to get his mojo back. It should have been Jin was on the verge of being destroyed, and Kazuya found a way to
at least not for that long
do something.
It was for too long.
Not for that long, right? It was for too long. And okay, now Jin is training. Jin finds his mother. His mother reveals more secret. His mother is actually the one who taught Claudio, and is the reason why, or whatever. They knew each other from long. Something.
She's the Oracle.
The story should have been more intuitive. It would make sense, right?
Yeah.
You would need that level of
given
power
what happens towards the end, like, it actually would make a lot of sense.
The reason why Heihachi had all these illegitimate children is because he wanted to make sure he was not responsible for the devil gene. And so he had Lars Alexander, and Lars Alexander was his most promising weapon to fight and combat the devil gene without the devil gene, And so now all these 12 legitimate children, he couldn't tally it. He's dead now. So now certain things are taking place that, maybe Kazuya found out, hey, these guys are threatening me. Let me go around the world and try to kill these guys one by one. And Kazuya's being successful. He's killing members of his own family. The story could have been, it is a story there. You just got to think, man. So I don't know if they were pressed for time. I don't know their thinking process and how they approach stories. But I'm like, you guys have all the tools you need to make a great story. And even for what it was, right? It's not a perfect story. Reina, I think the way to introduce Reina acting like she's aloof and, oh yeah, I'm just, Jin, I love you so much. You're so cool. And then secretly like, oh man, he just don't know. I'm going to destroy you, bro. I'm going to take everything from you, Jin. Yeah, I'm just using you for Kazuya, but I'm going to murder you because secretly I'm crazy. And I have to, stuff like that. Miguel should have been, go ahead.
Question. There actually was a theory that I saw, because you remember at the beginning of the game where they showed the mural and it was like Azazel.
Yeah.
Two henchmen on the side. So people were spectating that one side was the Kazuya's mother's clan on one side, her clan, the Hachigo clan. And some people are thinking there's another clan out there which Reina belongs to. So people are thinking that Reina is another child of child of Heihachi, but he made it with another person who carries the devil gene. Because you remember, like you could tell, she knew she had it, but she was trying to figure out how to unlock it, because that's why she kept studying the gene. And Kazuya like, oh, so it's unlocked from desire. Oh, but but also like Super Saiyan, it comes out during the most tragic moment, like basically near death. So that's why like she was like, hit me in the trailer.
See? And that's
so now, because the thing about it is she never revealed her last name. And remember Tekken is big on names, like
Eddie Gordo,
big on names, big on
Paul Phoenix. Martial Law.
Yeah.
Oh, Reina.
Bruce Irving.
Reina what?
Yeah.
The only person that don't matter is Fakuramen, because that's just Fakuramen. That's it. You feel me?
All right, I'll give my thoughts. I do think also it was a 7 out of 10. I think it was. I want to say it's a 15 chapter story. Chapters 1 through like 11 are fairly solid. I think a lot of things that you said, Jorio, were good points. There's a couple little tweaks you could have made along the way to make it even more of a standout story. But again, the bones of what was there was good. This was a good, solid approach to having, how do I involve 30 plus characters into this narrative? Tim took my summary, but it's true. It felt like the Tekken team was watching a lot of animator in the development cycle. Like it was just references on references on references. Like you talk about Hollow Ichigo and him.
It helped him. It helps stuff make sense though.
It helps stuff make sense.
Utilizing Claudio to that, I think they should have kept that momentum of utilizing characters, but continue.
Right, but that's the thing is like they study these elements of anime that do work. Right, there are monumental moments from their respective shows, but they did it without. It was like surface level. Like there was not enough underneath for it to matter. Like when Claudio does his whole "I need some time to prepare," I'm like, bro, I don't care what you do, honestly. Like you're not that important. Even when Kazuya makes the plan to absorb Azazel, it's like this kind of feels like convenience. Like, oh, how convenient that his plan gets revealed because she just happens to show up, as opposed to what you said, Jory, of like, I'm looking for her. I'm making mention of doing something to draw her out so I can come find her and get Azazel. It's just like, oh, good thing she showed up. It's like, oh, I had no idea you planned to get her in the first place, Kazuya. Cool. Or the fact that like, how strong is Reina really? Because initially she is able to like fight Kazuya off with no double trigger, like with no double gene of her own.
She is strong.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and she fought the super version.
Yeah, and was able to hold him off by herself. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things. Like, it's just like, and then later on in the game, you have Lars doing the same thing, and Lars is going 8 gates of death against Sage Madara just to buy you in a couple more minutes. So I'm like, so how strong is she? Because this man doing lightning style Chidori all over the jungle trying to hold Kazuya off.
You know what made the fight between Kazuya and Jin enjoyable, especially when Jin turns Angel Jin? That was the most enjoyable quick time event I've ever had. I wish there's things you can take from Cyber Connect too. The part where he was doing the beams and you had to press up, down, side, that was a challenging quick time event. They should have had something to where Claudio, listen, don't miss, otherwise Kazuya's gonna have 2 life bars. And they would have made these things more because I don't feel a story mode has to entirely mimic how you're gonna play online. We know
which it
that
didn't. To their credit, it didn't, and that's great. Yeah. I wish I saw more of that momentum. And throughout the game, like the fight with Lars, that could have been. Listen, you need Lars to do as much damage because if you don't, Jin has half a life bar. And these things make the oh my god, because you want people to be attached to certain moments. The reason why a lot of people love Tekken 7 story mode
was the fact that when it came time, when I was fighting, everybody remembers Akuma. Everybody remembers Akuma versus Heihachi. These are iconic fights, staple fights, fights that matter, fights that have weight to them. With Lars, they could have slowly built up Lars's desire to actually, listen, I have to stop Kazuya because now Jin's out of commission. So
it was still
who's
good.
Gonna stop these?
It was still good.
It was good. It was great. But you know, there's so much story they could have told, man. They could have focused on the illegitimate children and Kazuya going out and say, listen, you guys have something I need. And he's going after them. He sends Nina to go locate the rest because he can't be everywhere at once. He's now these guys have usefulness. I see why. Now it makes sense. Now you have Raven, right? You have the creator of the Raven. He's exposing himself now. But no Master Raven? No mention of Master Raven? I see Master Raven's on a I hope, because that's the Raw's Black Lady you had. Raw's Black Lady next to Kimberly now in a fighting game. Like that virtual fighter lady, she could sit over there. Nobody looked better than Master Raven. I'm sorry. Master Raven made me draw for 4 weeks straight. Because I was like, man, this is great character design. That's a part of the reason why I love Tekken over a lot of fighting games, because their character design is so alluring.
Yeah.
And it's modern, but at the same time, it's still unique to Tekken.
No, it's stylized, right? Because you look at
it's
Devil
super
Jin,
stylized.
it's like,
you get what I'm saying?
why is Devil Jin dressed like Yugi? Like, why? What is like Japan's like obsession with like belt straps are in places that they don't belong? Like, I don't understand. Like, why does this show that you're emo in Japan? Someone please explain this to me.
Yeah, but you know, that would have been a crazy storyline. Not to mention Steve Fox has something to do because he's not born normally. Like, where does that, you know, let's go on. You have elements to pull from. Why is Dragunov so hated by the Raven organization? Why is Dragunov so, you know,
but that
Brian Fury.
All the things that you're saying though is that, remember, I've had this discussion with you guys months and months ago on the pod. I said one of the things that I don't like Tekken about is that it focuses too much on one family when you have all these other interesting characters that can also push the plot forward. At a certain point, I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this game, going back to the story, like drives it home, especially once you get to chapters 12 through 15 where you're fighting Kazuya 45 times in a row. I don't want to see this family fight anymore. I don't care. It's been, like you said, those moments now at this point have been given to me. I've seen Heihachi and Kazuya.
Goku versus Vegeta.
I've seen Heihachi and Kazuya fight in a volcano. I've seen Jin and Kazuya fight on a meteor heading back to Earth as an angel and a demon. Okay, enough.
Okay, that fight.
Enough.
I have some. Tim made a very good point on certain things. The fight didn't feel as satisfying, and it didn't have as much weight. Now,
it borrows from the best parts and the worst parts of Naruto.
Two things, right? Two things I would have. Location needed to change for Kazuya and Jin.
No, it
Location
did.
had to change.
It did.
No, it did and it didn't, because
it did.
I'm still fighting on a volcano.
Because it's 3 chapters of fighting. That's why it did. Right? You fight in the jungle. You're fighting in the air through quick time events. You land on the meteor, right? Or the meteor shoots yourself into the heavens. It's not their fault that the fight then takes another 2 chapters of them falling back to Earth, and then they fight in the remains of the meteor on the ground when it starts raining. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna knock them. Go ahead.
The meteor that
or anything for that matter.
Earth.
It just landed perfectly back in the same place.
That island was the same size as the island of Española, so I think the planet would have been okay.
Yeah.
That
was my thing. Like, it's been my one big glaring thing that I keep coming back to with Tekken over and over. It'd be like with Street Fighter. If every single story revolved around Ryu and the Dark Hado, and Akuma had to show up at the end of every game, I'd be sick of it. If Liu Kang and Shang Tsung had to clash at the end of every single game, I would be sick of it. And I don't care how well
But
designed this
Shang
family
Tsung
is.
killed my brother.
I understand.
What you mean?
No, I understand, and that's the thing. Tekken has cruised on the laurels to some degree of just how cool these
Shang Tsung
characters
killed my
are.
brother.
Right? I'm like, Jin is a coolly designed character. Kazuya, cool designed character. Even Reina, cool designed character. I don't care about this family no more. I don't. They've impacted the story long enough now. Like, please, let something else happen. Like you said, why is Dragunov hated so much? Why are all these characters doing that? Like, since when did Paul embrace this like sumo lifestyle of like my fist is my power? When did that happen? Off screen, like everything else, because nobody else matters. The biggest issue I had with the story was when Kazuya shows up and like carpet bombs the entire battlefield. So I'm like, so everyone's dead? Because we never go back to them ever again at the end of the story mode. He shows up, wipes out both sides, and flies off. I'm just like, so everyone's dead. they're all dead, right? No one else got back up besides Reina.
No,
I know they're not dead, but it's like, so everyone's dead because you never, ever cut back to the rest of the story.
All those G soldiers are dead. Paul and Lars and all them boys, they kicking.
Oh, conveniently survived off screen.
Conveniently survived off screen, yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, Paul is opening a restaurant with his boy. Feng Wei and Bruce Leroy beef. That was a story to be told, but nothing there. And Feng Wei is actually, you know, and did you guys know that the God Fist came from Feng Wei's clan?
I did, but because of YouTube.
Yeah.
Not because of the game.
Now, in terms of what you said, in terms of story, Anthony, I think that's where they're going to utilize Tekken Bloodline to fill in the gaps. My only thing about it is, you know, if you're going to use Tekken Bloodline in this way, which I do feel like it's productive, and, you know, it also brings multiple streams back to the series, when these next games come out, you got to reread the source material, man, because why does it feel like this was the first time that he met Bruce Leroy? Or Leroy Smith, I mean, why does it feel like that was the first time him and Jim met each other? Like, no, bro, you cracked his leg, and that's why he has a cane. Why did that have to be retconned? And then, you know, to go back on, like, other character beefs, you know, a prime example would be Yoshimitsu versus Brian Fury. Because Brian Fury killed members of his clan, betrayed him. So that's why he's on the hunt to destroy him. And then, you know, as you also see, Yoshimitsu has a cursed sword, which has a very interesting connection.
In terms of what? Like,
okay, now my thing is, if is it a new Yoshimitsu all the time, then that beef can't be relevant. No,
because see, the thing about it is they have made it clear that the Soul Calibur Yoshimitsu is an ancestor to this current one. Yeah, so basically, like the name Yoshimitsu is like a title, basically like Kenpachi. It's a title.
I can get behind that. But yeah, that's not an issue, bro. It was a good story, beautiful graphics, right? I'm like it's probably the most competitive, I'd say, in terms of Mortal Kombat, in terms of cinematic storytelling, right? The scale of what's happening was amazing. Love the homage to Tekken Force. Love even though it was like a lazy Easter egg, you know, the whole the whole Raven saying, "Hi, actually Mishima is dead." It's like, it's cool, you know, like those type of things are cool.
That was funny in the chat, man.
Yeah, it's like those type of things, those like little nods are cool, you know. But it's just like,
Mishima is
at
dead.
a certain point, it's like my whole takeaway was when Jin went Golden Jin, Angel Jin, Kurama mode, linked Jin with all Nine Tails powers. And cut through Bahamut Blast and did everything that we've seen in every anime from our upbringing. I'm like, this is enough. Let's not do this ever again in a Tekken story mode.
The power of friends.
My friends are my power. Jin, I don't need to see this happen ever again. Let this be it. Please.